My name is Carley Meuchel. I live in Richfield, Washington, right here in Clark County, and I am an advocate for the disabled community because there's a lot of facets about the government and Congress that they're not aware of, and so I try and educate them on how Congress can help them, and we can work together to hopefully bring about what we need.
Hey Carley, thanks so much for having me.
Hi Joe, thanks for coming.
Carley, how can Congress ensure that the funds given to the state are properly utilized?
I would say just ask and just make sure that we are part of the conversation, but make it so that we're part of the conversation, and so that we get our voices heard, because a lot of times a lot of money is given, but it's the disability community doesn't even know how to use it correctly, and so that ends up being a problem as well.
Can Congress encourage an entrepreneurial attitude for the disabled?
I would say promote schools that promote an entrepreneurial attitude, because there are technical schools and there are cooking schools, for example, but when you think about that, most people don't think of the disabled as being part of that. And I think that's where we can lean less on the government just giving us money and more on our skills and building what could be our skills.
What can Congress do to take the burden off of employers to make hiring people with disabilities more desirable?
I would say take off the rules and regulations that the federal government puts on businesses, and also the ADA kind of pulls into this too. I would say also make it easier for employers to be able to say yes or no. Before the ADA passed in 1990, 50% of the disabled community was working. Now, it's maybe in the upper or lower 20s, anywhere from lower teens to maybe mid-20s at best, depending on what website you look at and where you're looking.
How do regulations on healthcare affect people with disabilities?
In order for me to have more than the $2,000 that your sister-in-law and I are allowed, I have to have Obama's Apple Care, even if I don't directly use it. The only thing I use it for is my HWD, which stands for, well, you probably know, Handicapped Workers with Disabilities. It's the only thing that allows me to keep my HWD, because under Apple Care, I have HWD, and if that goes away, then I go back to $2,000 a month, and as you know, I have my own business, and I would, until I get that to a point where it's sustainable, I need my HWD, because I can't run a business. I can't do anything under $2,000 a month. I can't buy a new car. I can't.
No. What has Marie Perez done to help Americans with disabilities?
Honestly, nothing. I've seen her take maybe 1 or 2 pictures with a couple people that I know, a couple families that I know in the disability community, but as you're aware, running for Congress and representing Congress, it's more than a photo op. It takes work, it takes listening to your constituents, it takes everything and all of the above, and she's not willing to do that from what I can see. She also voted against the REINS Act, which would pull back some of the rules and regulations that the disabled community could rely on to get hired and to get the help that we need.
Carley, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Excessive government red tape made it more difficult for people with disabilities to find employment. Congress made it expensive for employers to hire Americans with disabilities, and they're discouraged from taking on more work because it could threaten their benefits. I will fight to repeal unnecessary regulatory burdens and encourage entrepreneurship. Marie Perez has consistently supported government regulation, and she voted against policies like the REINS Act. Marie voted to give more power to unelected bureaucrats, hurting our local industries and entrepreneurs. Thank you to Carley Meuchel for sitting down with me to talk about Americans with disabilities. And thank you for watching this episode of Get Local with Joe, a series where I talk to people in our community about our local issues. You can support my campaign at joekentforcongress.com.